And this is a pretty simple set. We're on a creek here, and the beavers are starting a new dam. So they're just getting going in here. We've got a slide right here. It's pretty deep, pretty narrow. It goes up into the field out there. You could put a snare in this slide. You could put a body grip in it. And today, I'm going to put a foothold right there. That's going to be just about a perfect fit for my TS-85. And the reason I'm going to use a foothold here is because most of the time the banks where I'm at are very steeply sloped, and you have to really work to make a shelf to bed a foothold. This one though has got a perfect shelf right in here. I don't have to do any extra work. So I'm going to put a TS-85 right there. Let's take a look. Now remember, we want the animal to come across this way so that the jaws come up from the sides. And that, let me get that a little bit more level. That's pretty much it right there. Make sure it's good, it's solid, twist it in a little bit. Now, we have to secure the trap, and I'm using an earth anchor for this, but let's say I forgot my driver. What I can do is simply get a beaver stick. It's going to have a nice point on it, and use that to shove it down in the mud, get it in there good and deep. Now my trap is secure. Once again, it's a field expedient method. You don't have to have a lot of fancy equipment. Nature will provide. Nothing wrong with that. Now let's put a little lure on it. I'm going to use my Fox Hollow Damadam. That's a good lure. Let's open that up. Get a little on my stick. I'm just going to dab that stick up and down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dab a lure, and I'm going to stick it right back in here. The idea, the beaver's going to come and put his nose right there, and when he does, step on the trap and get caught. So you can see, very simple, not a lot of work. All I did was slick up that slide a little bit, put some lure on it, flatten out my bed just a little bit with my foot, put the trap in, and anchor the earth anchor with a beaver stick. That set's done, and I expended very little in the way of energy. Now that we've got our snare set in on the slide, I've come down to the dam where I know they're working, and I'm going to put a second set in. Like I say, if it's good enough for one, it's good enough for two. Also, always remember, when you're catching a beaver alive, that beaver is the best beaver attractant that you can have. So when one gets caught, the others are going to come and investigate. Another thing to keep in mind is that not only beaver are moving through here, but we had an otter toilet right up the creek. So I know otter are coming through. So I'm not looking for just a beaver set here. So I'm not going to put a snare with a big loop on it. I'm going to use another foothold. And this is going to be a blind set. And I want it to take anything that comes through here. So I'm going to offset the pan just a little bit. It's not right in the center. I've got to get that a little bit better bedded. I don't want it rocking. Another thing to keep in mind is I want this a little bit below ground level. Got a lot of sticks in here to get out of the way. So that when the animal is walking, and it's sort of like stepping in a hole. When you step in a hole, you're going to hit with more force because it's unexpected. And I want them deep into that trap when it fires. Okay. And once again, I'm using an earth anchor. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my fiberglass support right here. Get that pushed in. Good. There. The final thing that I want to do is I just want to use a stepping stick to make anything coming step over and into the trap. You don't want it to interfere with the jaws of the trap, and I don't want one on both sides. I don't want them to jump completely over both sticks. I want one stick so that when they're coming this way, they'll take a final step before they go over. If they're coming from the other way, they'll have to step over the stick and hit the trap. That's especially useful for otters because of the way they lope when they're traveling. That's pretty much it. Total blind set. There we go. Okay, we're back the next morning, and as you can see, it's raining. This was the slide. I bedded a foothold in it. The foothold is tripped, and nothing in it. And that tells me that it probably hit him on the belly, whatever it was that came through there. But right over there with the foothold on the dam, the blind set, we got one. Right there. You can see that TS-85 back foot catch. Worked exactly as designed. Right there. So let me go on down and check some more. Hopefully we've got something else to get, but we'll see. It's starting to rain pretty hard. Temperatures are going to plummet, so I got to get in and I got to get out. You can see why I like this TS-85. It's a good trap. Good high catch. No toe catches. Good and high. Every time. If he gets in this trap, he's going to be there waiting for you. So, it's a nice beaver. He'll eat good. And that will just about finish out my supply for the year. But it's been a good season. I've had some ups and downs. It started off a little rough. I lost my dog this year, and but that's the circle of life. It's just a rainy old day here in Alabama, but the chapter's about to turn, and it'll be time to focus on my garden and focus on turtle trapping and catfish trapping. So it's been a good year. Can't complain. Every year is a good year, that's for sure. Let me get on out of here, and thanks for watching. Well, there we go, fellas. Back at the truck. It's a nice beaver. It'd be meat for a couple of days. Nice pelt, some castor, and that was a long walk. And that tree line down there, carrying those TS-85s and that beaver, getting old, fellas. That's hard work. Unfortunately, I can't drive because it's been raining, and I can't cut the fields up. So you just sort of have to do it old school. Go in, grab them, and you got to work for your food. And not too many people are willing to do that these days. Nobody wants to work, but any man that's willing to work can eat. And that's the bottom line on that.